Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wednesday night OWCP chats with that guy, Chris, and Gini. So tonight we are going to be discussing two really good topics that you guys have been wanting for a while. We're going to talk about MMI, schedule award, and who to call and what to do when you get into a federal accident, when you're on the job with your accidents, and so forth. So what we'd like everyone to do is go ahead, share the video. Don't forget, if you're new, don't forget to follow and like our Wednesday night OWCP chats page, and share it on your union pages, and also invite your friends that are interested in learning about MMI, schedule award, and federal car accidents. And before we begin, hello, Shannon. Before we begin, don't forget today, Red for Feds, every Wednesday. AFGE wears Red for Feds. And so you guys know, we don't make these t-shirts. This is actually given out by AFGE in each of the local VAs and wherever they decide to give it out.
Yeah.
So with that said, again, we're going to be talking about MMI, schedule awards, and personal auto accidents, what to do, who to call, and so forth. So, okay, great. So those of you start sharing and let's begin.
Well, we're not beginning just yet.
Okay.
So, as always, before I get started, I don't have my sign because it's over there, and I forgot to bring it over here. But get Twitter at Fed Injury Center. We have 543 now following. 543 lucky people because you get really good information. This week I posted, especially for letter carriers, signs and symptoms and treatments for heat exhaustion and heat-related illnesses. So that's a real thing, especially during the heat of the summer like we have now.
Yeah.
You really need to go on there and do everything it says. It's really good information. It's actually from WebMD. So in this case, that I'm not a doctor, I thought I would just find something that was written by one. So it's really good stuff. So go check it out. It's at Fed Injury Center on Twitter. You go to your Google Play Store or to your App Store if you have an iPhone. You get the Twitter app. You hit get or download. Once you have it, you go through the very easy steps. They put it in very, very plain language to create your account. And once you create your account, you go search for at Fed Injury Center and follow it. And then you'll get real-time updates on OWCP related laws, rules, and regulations. It's really, really valuable. It helps you more than it helps me. I already have the information. So it's just a good way for me to quickly share it with you.
Yeah.
So tell your friends at Fed Injury Center. I'm going to remind you, of course, a few times throughout this video at Fed Injury Center because I'm shooting for 1,000. We have 543. But if you know me, you know I'm actually shooting for 2.7 million. So you all have some work to do sharing this information. So at Fed Injury Center. And let's also, before we get started, this is important for those of you that are in Massachusetts. We have a Facebook Live scheduled.
Yeah, we're coming to our Woburn office.
50-50 chance you got it wrong. Quincy.
I just never know. There's too many offices. So we're going to be coming August 28th to our Quincy office.
8 p.m. Eastern.
8 p.m. We're going to do Facebook Live with an audience.
And we expect the audience to be huge.
We hope this gets packed. We're inviting anyone from any agency. It doesn't matter who you work for. We want everyone there. We're hoping to get some local presidents if possible.
Yeah, come check it out.
And we're going to also have some appetizers and drinks, just so in the hour that we're doing this, you guys are having fun and comfortable, and you're welcome to ask questions. We'll be there before to ask one-on-one questions, and we will be there after to answer your one-on-one questions. So we're really excited.
Yeah.
This is our first time coming to Massachusetts. We've had these offices for quite some time. But there's a lot of people out there that still don't know about us and our offices out there. So we are looking forward. So that's August 28th.
That's a Wednesday.
Wednesday night chats. I blanked out.
Wednesday night OWCP
OWCP
chats live
at 8
live.
p.m.
Yeah.
So it normally runs on when we do a live about an hour and a half because we have people in the audience asking questions. So
yeah, and we love the interaction, and
yeah.
Everybody that's watching online gets the benefit of the real questions from real people who have serious situations. So I'd like to be able to answer those with a live online audience as well. So if you're in the Boston area or anywhere in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Connecticut, any of the places around there, plan on being in our Quincy location. You can find the address at federalinjurycenters.com. Scroll all the way down to the home screen and you'll see the address to the Quincy location. But we'd love to see all of you there. Anybody that can make it. It'll be valuable and fun. And we love the opportunity to meet people in person. It's a lot of fun for us. And every time I meet somebody in person, it's a real treat for me. So I'd like it if you all came out and give me a lot of real treats.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to discuss MMI, schedule award, and federal car accidents. 3 things that you guys have been asking us to discuss. There's some other questions coming through not related to the MMI, schedule award, and the car accidents. So we'll get to those after. So if you guys have any questions that pertain to those 3 topics, please, put them on as Chris is going over this stuff. Please take notes. And don't forget to share.
Yeah, if you haven't shared the video, last week somebody shared it 7 times.
Yes, thank you.
That's what we're looking for, 7 times, so do that. And 10 times is good too.
Yeah.
So start sharing. Text your friends, call your friends, invite people over.
Just have like a football
watching party.
A Wednesday night watch party like you do.
An OWCP Chats tailgate party.
Okay, we should do that actually. That actually sounds really fun in Alabama.
Yeah, or right here at the beach.
We'll get Danielle and Lisa to organize that. And by the way, I know a lot of you guys are saying congratulations to us. We want to say
thank you.
Thank you to everyone. It was completely unexpected as I was having my son's farewell party.
I expected it fully.
Because he's going to Texas to LCU. And, in the midst of it, this one just decides to pop the question. I mean, I wasn't even interested in him that way, And then he just...
I barely know her name.
Yeah,
we just met. Okay, look, that's not true. None of that's true. If you've never been on, that's not true.
But let's get started. Again, take notes on MMI, schedule award, and federal car accidents. Don't forget to follow and like our page so you can see us every week at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard, 8 Central. And
except for August 28th.
Except for August 28th will be on 8 p.m.
8 p.m.
in Massachusetts. And share on your union pages, your page, and your Facebook groups, and invite your coworkers because everybody asks about these 3 topics, what to do. And one thing, when you guys are getting injured, I've noticed you guys are delaying going to the doctor. You guys are not filling out your CA1s, so you're not going to be eligible for your CA 16s if you don't do it right away. And on top of that, then you're calling and say, I got injured last month. Now what do I do? You guys have to report it. Even if you don't go to the doctor right away, just report it. Get all your paperwork with you so you have it. And then if you choose, because how many years do you have to file an injury?
It's not 3 days?
No.
It's 3 years.
And it's not 90 days. I saw somebody put something about 90 days. It's not 90 days. It's not 30 days. It's 3 years you have to file your injury.
Let me just say, Corby Simpkins says, I outkicked my coverage. You have no idea. It's like a single A player in the majors starting. Okay, so exactly right.
Lynn, you said, do you mean follow up with a doctor every 90 days?
Lynn's replying to somebody else.
Oh.
So I don't know what
Patsy. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what Patsy said, but we'll get to it. So all of your questions, keep them coming. Invite all your friends. Tell your neighbors. Let everybody know to jump on because we've stalled for 9 minutes. Once minute 10 comes, I'm on the road. We're getting this thing going. So
did you guys see we're at the beach?
Yeah.
We're at the beach, folks. I can touch the water. Obviously, whose background is loving this because there's no mountains on there.
That's right. So let's get this rolling. So we're going to talk about MMI. I just can't. I'm sorry. All right, look. everyone listen. This story has to come first. You have like a minute. You don't have that long. Get people on because this story is going to blow your mind.
Yeah. Oh, I know what story.
All right, so
I think I know what story.
We're not talking about OSHA tonight, but who would like to know of a story where calling OSHA worked? Raise your hand. Yeah.
I got the call actually.
Oh man, this was the greatest thing. So we've been teaching for a few months now that when supervisors give you a hard time about filing your work injuries, that one of your rights as an employee, but especially a federal employee, is to file a work injury, right? Report your injuries. And so that's according to OSHA. So I've been saying that if they get in the way, they meaning management, get in the way of you reporting or filing your work injury in any way, you should report that to OSHA because OSHA says it's your right to report the injury. And so it must be something that they deal with when that's violated. And there are penalties for this up to and including fines and imprisonment. But there are lesser penalties as well, and I'm going to tell you about it. So everybody get on. This one's great. So here's what happened. We had a new employee. It doesn't really matter what agency. I don't want to call, like you can put agencies and cities and states on blast. We're not doing that. It's a federal employee who is new at their job, okay, in a state that's inside the U.S. That's all that matters.
Inside the U.S.?
Yeah, well, they only have states inside the U.S. And so here's the deal. The employee got hurt. It was a legit injury. And like so many new federal employees, they thought, well, as a new employee, I don't have rights.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about your rights. Okay, this person had rights. Here's what the top supervisor in the agency at that site said. You should just resign so that you don't get fired. And
wanted her to write her resignation out.
And so she did, actually.
And she did.
She wrote a resignation letter because I don't want to be fired, so I'll quit. Somehow it's better, right? I don't have any rights anyways. So they told her to resign, and she did. So a steward that we trained called us up and said, hey, you know, this is what happened. What do we do? And we had a conversation. It's like she sets the phone down so I can listen. I was like a proud father, okay? The stuff she said. Here's what ended up happening. This person contacted EEO and filed a complaint, contacted OSHA and said, is it a violation to make me resign for having a work injury? Yeah. Guess what OSHA said?
Yes.
It is a violation, in fact. And because of that, through the process OSHA goes to, the top manager on this site and another supervisor were fired. And so I got to tell this story last night at a NALC meeting here in Florida, and I ended that with bye, because bye. We've been telling you, look, we're teaching federal employees to not get pushed around anymore. Look what just happened. We said contact OSHA and ask if it's a violation.
Right.
Now OSHA's going in and looking at everything, and the top people that were causing the problems are gone forever. They're gone.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It was like, bye, Felicia.
I don't like people getting fired. You know, I don't want people getting fined and in prison or being fired. But guess what? Stop pushing around federal employees. So we're teaching this, and finally there's an incident where someone got fired because of it. It was beautiful, okay? So let that be a lesson to every supervisor that sees this video. It is every person's right to file their work injuries, period. You get in the way of that, you do that at your own peril. So everyone, give yourselves a hand if you're involved in that situation, and the rest of you get involved with that. Don't let this happen to yourself or your coworkers. There are heavy punishments that can go along with it if you follow the rules and the steps that we've been telling you about.
Yeah. So it was a real good bye, Felicia story there.
I've been having a good time with it for like days.
Yeah, he's been like so ecstatic that it actually worked and it happened. And even
I had another person today that's going to do the same thing.
Yeah,
was actually fired.
Yeah, we heard another one last night at the union meeting that the post office got fined $198,000.
She said post office. What she meant to say is the federal agency.
Ching!
So, anyways,
I'm just saying it was a post office. It wasn't in Florida, by the way. So,
but anyways, the point is this stuff works. So follow along. Tell all your friends this stuff works. Very exciting times. All right.
Marisol, you said in the midst of comp hell, learned real fast the post office is against you, not with you during these times. It's not the post office, it's the management. It's management always. Other than that, everybody else is in the same boat, and this
And not
is
all
what,
management, but
right.
a lot.
I
Management.
personally know a handful of nice ones that are actually nice. They actually reach out to me and call me and ask me to make sure what forms.
How can we help?
How can we help? So there are the good ones, but there is 95% bad ones.
And I don't have any time to talk about the good
Yeah.
ones because they're already doing the right job. So I'm only going to just hammer the bad ones. So those two bad ones got hammered in the almost worst way. They lost their jobs. So good
Rosie said, repeat the sentence again. It's a violation of OSHA to...
We call OSHA and ask the following question. Is it a violation to threaten me with termination? Is it a violation to tell me to resign because I was injured at work?
And
is it a violation to fire me? The answer is yes to all of those, okay?
Yeah.
Is a violation to threaten you for having a work injury, or for reporting it. Don't let it happen. 1-800-321-OSHA.
Yeah.
Let's put a stop to it. So, all right, great. We got a lot of lookers, viewers.
Lookers or hookers?
Who are they looking at?
I think you said hookers.
They're probably looking at her.
Oh, whatever.
I definitely didn't say hookers.
So,
all right.
MMI. What does MMI mean?
All right, so let's get into this. Some of you have asked questions already. I'm going to answer those here.
Give the definition.
I think I will.
Okay, they want to know.
MMI stands for Maximum Medical Improvement. This is a medical term that only a medical doctor or a DO, which is like a medical doctor, can determine. No one else can determine this. Your supervisors can't determine it. Your postmasters can't determine it. Your claims examiners, your case managers cannot determine this. If you have a lawyer, can't determine it. Only your medical doctor can determine MMI, Maximum Medical Improvement. What it means is that you've gone through all the treatments that are possible to make you better, and you are as good as you can get. You're not going to get any better. And so some people say, well, what if surgery would make me better, but I refuse surgery? No problem. You're at MMI the day you refuse surgery because there's nothing else that can make you better. So that's how you get to MMI. And that's what it means. So the doctor determines that you're at maximum medical improvement. You're not going to get any better. You're as good as you're ever going to get. So when they determine that, they do a test, an exam that's called an impairment rating. And in their impairment rating, they have to use the sixth addition to permanent impairment. Many doctors try to use the fifth. The fifth is an instant denial. Okay, claims examiners don't even look at it. It's done. All right. So the sixth addition to permanent impairment. So they do an impairment rating. And it gives you a percentage of impairment, meaning, you have 10% impaired, and based on your injury, right? And then that's plugged into a formula that calculates or takes into account the number of weeks on the schedule, number of weeks for your body area, and then it takes into account the percentage of the impairment, and it calculates a dollar amount, which is paid to you. So an impairment, or MMI, leads to an impairment rating, which leads to a schedule award, and a schedule award leads to money to you. They have this there as sort of a final payment when you're injured, but it's generally paid over a number of weeks. There are some instances where they'll pay it out at a lump sum, but that's rare. And I'm not going to really go into it here because it's kind of foggy. Even I looked it up online, like, it's kind of vague. But generally, it's over a period of time. They'll pay it in weeks. It's weekly payments based on that schedule. And so doctors do this impairment rating. The one thing that can't be rated is the spine. The cervical, thoracic, and lumbar cannot be rated.
Yep.
Unless those conditions cause problems in your arms or legs. And then the arms and legs can be rated based on that. And so you just have to know that not all conditions are rateable, but when they are, it can lead to money in your pocket. It's not always a lot. Sometimes it's zero. Sometimes your impairment rating percentage is zero because you're still at 100%. You got all the way better. And, while you're not going to get a check, you're all the way better. So count yourself lucky. There's too many people who aren't. And that's just how that goes. Doctors have there's no flexibility in the percentage they give. They use the book. It's literally a textbook. And they have to follow the guide and do what the guide says based on your condition. And so just know that if your impairment rating percentage is low, It's not because the doctor wants it low or he's unfairly keeping it low. It's because there is a formula and they have to follow it. So keep that in mind. Now, with that said, some second opinion doctors will lower your percentage, but now you got to go back and look at what they did. Like, what page in the 6th edition guide did they use? What formula did they apply? Because there is only one formula that works, and there's only one page or a X number of pages in the guide that works for whatever your condition is. And so you have to just be careful and make sure your doctor knows how to do that. And in his report, because it results in a report, an impairment rating report, you'd like your doctor, and make a note of this. I just read this today. You'd like your doctor to notate exactly what pages, charts, graphs, whatever, exactly what was used in the 6th edition guide to determine your impairment percentage. Prove it. Tell your doctor, be sure you put your proof in there.
Yeah.
And because you don't want a denial. You just like the claims examiner to say yes the first time, right? And so that's what you do. That impairment rating report by the doctor then gets attached by you to a CA7 form, a claim for compensation. You select letter D for schedule award, fill it out, turn it in. That's how you get paid on a schedule award. And that's an MMI, maximum medical improvement, impairment rating, schedule award, CA7. That's the cycle. Okay. Then you wait for a check in the mail or a denial letter from the claims examiner. If they deny it, they'll tell you why. You take it back to your doctor, have your doctor fix it.
So he just explained what MMI is.
And that was, I explained a lot of information in 10 minutes, so there should be questions on this.
Yeah, and then the schedule award. All right, so Nicholas wants to know, what about large dog bite scars?
They will not rate scars necessarily, but if the scar, let's say the dog bite was on your calf, right, or your ankle, they can rate the calf and ankle for whatever diagnosed injury was a result of the dog bite.
All right. Corby wants to know, what if an impairment rating goes up on a second opinion?
Yeah, so if that actually happened, like let's say OWCP sends you to a second opinion doctor, they'll take that second opinion doctor's rating, okay?
Yeah.
And let's say you go to one doctor. That doctor didn't know how to do it. They gave you 2%. You went to a second doctor that you chose, and the second doctor gives you 12%. The key is that the second doctor can definitively prove why it should be 12%, and then that can be accepted.
All right, Vicky, she says, who gives the MMI rating? The doctor that did the surgery?
Well, it's typically your treating doctor, but your treating doctor could ask the surgery doctor, the whatever surgeon, to do the rating. Either one of them could do it. But you'd want the treating doctor to make a referral or a request to the surgeon to do that for you. You don't want just like random doctors doing impairment ratings.
Right. Okay, important question. Okay, so Marisol said, important question. My OIC has spoken to other postmasters and the POOM about my medical. That's breaking the HIPAA compliance, correct?
I don't know. Management can typically talk to each other. They really can't talk to your peers. And so I'm not 100% sure about that. We're going a little bit outside of OWCP. We're talking about the Privacy Act and HIPAA, and which is a different subset of law. But we can definitely get the answer. But from my background in management, I would never discuss it with anybody probably. But I can say that typically they're probably can discuss it with their management peers or superiors. But we can get a clarifying answer on that for you.
Yeah. Okay.
And when we get it, we'll post the answer right here so that you'll be the first to see it.
Okay. Londa Graham says, you say that there's no rating for spine issues. What happens if you are having bad problems in the lumbar area?
Well, I mean, if you're having bad problems in the lumbar area, you definitely get treated follow your doctor's orders. Who knows what the doctor's going to want? Therapy, surgery, bracing. I don't even know what all the doctor might want. Chiropractic adjustments. Who knows? But an impairment rating is not possible to the lumbar area unless your problem causes like symptoms into your legs, because you can only rate the legs in that instance.
Right. What if you've been approved for your award, but later you have other symptoms due to the original injury, such as arthritis in the knee after a broken ankle injury?
If you can show that your impairment has gotten worse, then you can turn in an updated impairment rating and potentially receive the difference in money. Potentially. Okay, you're going to have to fight through denials and maybe even need a lawyer, but it's not out of the question completely.
Does MMI expire?
MMI happens at a point in time. It happens when it happens. If you were at MMI 6 months ago and you're only just now going for an impairment rating, maybe that's what you're talking about. No, that doesn't expire. What the doctor will say is you're at MMI, right? And then they'll do the impairment rating.
Is that volume up
You'll probably be okay.
on here? Is this it?
Yeah, but that's not really helping. Hey, everybody, just real quick, send a bunch of likes right now if you can hear us.
It seems like they have.
Just do a bunch of likes. Like, if you hear us right now.
Okay. What if the second doctor who work comp rates me lower on the range of motion than the surgeon gave me for his MMI?
Well, you may need a referee doctor, like a third doctor, to break the tie. But one of the doctors is going to have to write a better report than the other doctor with better information as to where the information came from inside the 6th edition guides.
Okay, Rhonda says, I'm having an issue with work comp because management, meaning supervisor, told me to say something different than what actually happened, and now I'm having issues trying to explain what really happened. Why would you go against what really happened, even though management said that?
Well, okay, did you actually write something that was false as a result of management telling you to?
Yeah.
I want to know the answer to that. But let me tell you the result. Here's the deal. Anybody in connection with a claim under FICA, which is a law, who knowingly and willfully writes a false statement can be fined, imprisoned, or both. So, if you wrote a false statement knowingly, it just hurts you, okay? If the supervisor made you do it, I hope you can prove it. That's important. But that's the law. And nobody can make you write a false statement. You have to write just what happened.
Yeah.
If you're forced to do that, give me a call. I'm going to give you some steps to do because I don't want that to stick.
Mike, can we help Mike out with a broken heart?
Oh, Mike.
Mike, come on to Florida. I'll help you. I don't know what I'm going to do. I'll take you out for drinks or something. What happens if you've had back surgery and you have continuous pain management procedures done?
Okay, look, I'm not a doctor. I got to say that. And if you're getting pain management procedures done, that's a treatment thing that's been decided and agreed upon you by your doctor and yourself. What happens if you do all those things? You keep doing them until the doctor says this isn't working, at which point maybe you're at MMI or maybe there's something else you can do. But you're not at MMI until the doctor thinks the treatment doesn't work anymore. Or maybe you say, I'm tired of these pain management procedures. They're not working. I refuse to do any more. Then the doctor could put you at MMI at that point.
Right. Yes, Eric Blowers, those of you that are hiring him, retaining him as your attorney, he does amazing schedule award stuff and federal accidents, and we're going to talk about that next. Let me just answer some of these.
But he said highest percent rolls.
Yeah.
I defer to Eric Blowers.
Yeah, we do.
On that. When there's a disagreement in one doctor over the other's impairment rating, if Eric says that, I defer to him. He never told me that, but I have no reason to think that's not something he said. So I definitely defer to Eric because he's the impairment rating schedule award guru.
Yeah. Bill says, so I'm 3 months out on a total knee replacement. Is there a set basic amount of time that an MMI is done, and who schedules the rating?
Well, no, there's no set basic amount of time. You're at MMI when you're at MMI. It is when it is, okay? And who does it?
Yeah.
Is your doctor, your medical doctor.
Marisol said, I herniated L4, L5 lifting a box off the floor on January 28th. I was completely out of work until mid-April and have been on light duty since. 20-pound restrictions and 4-hour days. Comp denied my case and currently in appeal. The paperwork involved with this is maddening because denied because of causal relationship.
That's the most common reason for denial, on top of it was signed by a PA or nurse practitioner, or it was diagnosed with pain. Otherwise, causal relationship would probably be third. I'd be happy to help you with that. If you want to send me the doctor's narrative report, I can tell you where the doctor went wrong.
Oh, you guys are also welcome. Corby says back pain has to radiate to limbs for acceptance, if I understand correctly, for MMI, correct?
That is correct. You've got to have radiating symptoms from the spine into the limbs in order to qualify for any rating under OWCP.
Okay. Robert Silva says, must MMI be entered in medical notes at the 1 year period of going to medical appointments after surgery?
No.
OWCP said it is not necessary, that it could be revisited with the doctor when written with a CA27 submitted for a schedule award.
It's a CA7 is what's submitted for schedule award. There is a CA20 as well, and I can see why a doctor might use it. But an impairment rating report is done when the doctor says you're at MMI. There is no time frame for that. 1 year certainly is not a thing, and you use a CA7 to turn that in.
Joyce, my doctor.
I'm sure that's what you meant, by the way. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Joyce says, my doctor said he can't do the impairment rating, that I will have to go somewhere else. Joyce.
That's super common.
Yeah.
Most doctors don't know how to do this stuff.
What I'm going to do after we're done, I'm going to post Eric's information, attorney Eric Blowers' information. And for you guys to get like schedule award and federal car accidents, you guys contact him, because he's, like Chris said, he is the guru on all this.
Yeah, and maybe he'll know some doctors in your area too that we don't know. But if we do, we'll direct you, or we will tell you about a doctor who can do an impairment rating. We don't direct anybody. Your choice of doctors is yours.
Yeah, Joyce, let me know what city and state you're in. Anita said, how do you figure your MMI? Like for your back injury with radiating numbness into the toes?
Well, the deal is, it's called schedule award for a reason, because there's a schedule of weeks of payments. And so if you Google, and everyone write this down, if you go to Google and Google OWCP schedule award chart, OWCP schedule award chart, you can actually see the chart that gives the body areas and the weeks on the schedule. You take that scheduled number of weeks times the impairment rating percentage, and there's one other part to the formula. There's a 3 parts to the formula, and anyways, I was just looking at it. But anyways, they apply it to the formula, and that's how they determine it.
Jill, you said, what's the first step? Get form from boss? What first step of what? Or if you're talking about an MMI or schedule, well, let me know.
If you're talking about MMI, the first step is go to the doctor and am I at MMI? Get the impairment rating based on the 6th edition, attach it to your CA7, and turn it in.
I would like some information about short-term disability.
So short-term disability is definitely outside of my expertise, sadly. But if you go to your union, I can tell you that almost every local union I've been associated with has someone that helps with short-term disability and other types of plans like that. And they generally have somebody they can refer you out to. And also, a lot of the unions just handle it. And so you probably have somebody in your union that will help you with that.
Actually, Diane, Matt Hayes said, message me. He has the info, because Matt was saying earlier in a message that he wished he had known about us in 2011 or 2013.
Yeah, and this is totally off topic, having nothing to do with OWCP. But as the loving uncle that I am, I'd like to say hello to Bryson and Paisley.
I was going to say
who are watching again. Those are my nephew and niece.
Bryson and Paisley, Jessica and Brad, we've missed you guys so much.
Come back.
It was a little boring without you guys.
Look, we found your beach.
Oh, yeah, Jessica,
right.
Look.
Yeah. Let's get back on. But hi. Hi, everybody. All right.
Okay. Let's see. Patty says, oh, Tammy, you love the background? Yeah, that was obviously Chris's idea for that background.
Yep.
Patty says, DOL sent me to a doctor for my MMI rating on my back. They never talked to the doctor that I have been seeing since my surgery. I got nothing, even though I have weakness in my thighs and back. I did tell the doctor that.
I'd go back to your doctor and have him do it, or her. Just simple as that.
Yeah. Deborah says, I was told by DOL that they did not agree with impairment, that they did not agree. Oh my goodness. I was told by DOL that they did not agree with the impairment rating, and they will send me a letter to give to the doctor to sign if he agrees. If he doesn't, do they want a second opinion?
Yeah. they'll probably definitely two things that don't go together. But yeah, they're going to ask for another one to do it.
All right, so
I got to stop real quick. Tammy's watching, and Tammy, I need to talk to you tonight or in the morning. I meant to call you today, but I didn't. But you and I got to talk. And so when this is over, you can call me tonight, or we can talk tomorrow.
Yeah, Tammy, I made sure because we talked about you today.
Yeah, okay.
That's why we want to talk.
That's all we have to say about that. But be sure you give us a call, Tammy.
All right.
Tonight I'll answer my phone. Just give me a call.
So the questions, you guys, if you have more questions coming in on the MMI and schedule award, drop them in the comment. So we're going to go ahead and start talking about federal car accidents. We've seen it over and over. You guys get rear-ended in your LLVs or in your work vehicles or any kind of government vehicles. It could be the VA, you guys are traveling, FBI, whatever. It doesn't matter, whatever.
Yes, Tammy Newman, you.
Whatever work vehicle. If you are a federal employee and you have a work vehicle and you get injured because of it in a federal accident, number one, I'm going to have Chris explain the other stuff. Number one, call us. We give you Eric Blowers' number, and understand he does not have to be in the state that you're in.
Yeah.
What he does, you call him, you talk to him, he gets you set up, and he has a partnering attorney in whatever state you're in that handles the stuff in your state, but he's in charge of the whole case. So number one, reach out to me or look on the page. I always put Eric's phone number and email address and all that. Contact him. And I know a lot of you have used him for the schedule award and the accidents, and he's really good in anything bad that goes on federal within your job sites. Also, we hear this all the time. Oh, I called an attorney and the attorney says he doesn't know what to do, because it was so funny. An attorney actually called me 2 weeks ago asking me for information to give him on accidents. And I was like, no. So I have, and Chris has, a lot of personal injury attorneys that do accidents, car accidents, regular accidents. Yeah. But unfortunately, as good as they are, the federal side is completely different. It's not as easy as they think. They think they know what to do, and then they don't understand how they have to work with DOL or the doctor and get. Then
they just become a real pain in the ass, to be totally honest with you.
Yeah.
Because they're experts in everything except this.
Yeah, and Eric doesn't take any money for the accident unless when it's done, there's like, what is it? I'm blanking out the percentage. Whatever the percentage is, that's what he gets. So I'm
going to describe it right now.
Yeah, he's going to tell you about that. So remember, don't go to a local personal injury attorney guy. All of them have billboards everywhere. Trust me, in Florida, there's one on each corner.
There's 4 on every corner.
So call us or contact attorney Eric Blowers, and he will get you set up in the correct way so you're not getting screwed in any way. Now, if you hit somebody, unfortunately, you shouldn't be hitting anybody.
I'll go into that too.
The T-bone, the rear end, all of that. So I'm going to turn it over to...
Yeah. So let's be clear about something, though. We're not just talking about car wrecks. Car wrecks happen every day, especially if you're a letter carrier, but they happen to other employees of other agencies as well. But we're also talking about dog bites. Somebody owns that dog most of the time. All right. If you know who the owner is, that's the third party responsible for your injury. So dog bites and car wrecks are probably the 2 most common things that I see, and that are third party related. On a CA1 claim, CA1 form, there's a question on the front page that says, "Is this due to a third party?" All right, that's what they're talking about. Okay, yeah. And they ask that because they want you to go after the third party for a settlement of some kind. That settlement, after all expenses, including like lawyer's fees, expenses related to the settlement process, okay, is divided up. You get 20%, the Department of Labor gets 80%, and that's used to reimburse bills that they're paying as a result of a third-party accident. If the money that you receive in settlement doesn't cover all the bills, that's no problem. You're never going to be responsible for it. But this is just DOL's way of getting something back. But they always give you 20%. And so they require you. It's the rule. I don't know if I want to call it a law, but it's definitely in Department of Labor regulations that you're required to go after the third party. So if someone else hits you, you have to pursue them just as if it was a personal case, okay? Not on the clock.
Right.
If someone's dog runs out of their house and bites you, okay, that person whose house the dog was in is the responsible third party, okay? So you're able to sue that person's, homeowner's insurance. In a car wreck, you sue that person's auto policy. And, obviously, you don't have to use a lawyer, but, I would. I'm a relatively smart guy. I would never do it without a lawyer, mostly because I don't want to deal with the trouble.
Yeah.
And the insurance companies try to push you around, and that shouldn't be a surprise to anybody. And they're big, and individually we're small. And so it's better to have a lawyer. But just understand, CA1 claims say, is this due to a third party? If you say yes, they're going to want information on the third party. They're going to send you a letter in the mail saying, we understand you have an accident that was a third party case, and we'll send you more information after investigation. And what they're going to expect is for you to pursue a settlement and split it with them 80-20. You get the 20 after expenses. So Gini just said, don't go for your own personal injury lawyer. Like I have friends who are PI lawyers, but it doesn't matter. They're my friends. I can't use them, and I wouldn't use them because they don't know OWCP.
Right.
See, personal injury lawyers know how to pursue a personal injury claim, a car accident claim, a dog bite claim. But they have no idea how this OWCP thing works. And if you told them that it's 80-20 after expenses, they think you're crazy. But that's the deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can't afford to screw that up. And so you want a DOL lawyer, okay, who can quarterback this thing. That's very important, okay? Some federal lawyers can also do personal injury, but they have to be licensed in the state where the accident happened, right? And so that's why they'll farm it out to someone else, but they quarterback it to make sure you're taken care of. So it's very, very important. But you're required to pursue the third party with or without a lawyer, but you're required to do it. You're required to pursue and try to obtain a settlement that you split with the agency, with Department of Labor after the expenses. It's very important. Most people don't know that. And what's shocking to me is most people don't realize that if you get hurt in an accident while you're on the clock, that's covered by Department of Labor.
Yeah, it is.
So all of your injuries are covered as if you lifted a box on the job site, right? It's the same thing to them. It's a OWCP injury. So if you get hurt and it's due to a third party, don't ignore it. Don't just go after a PI thinking you're going to get a quick dollar, okay? You're required to file that as OWCP. Fill out a CA1, get an OWCP lawyer, let that lawyer find you a PI lawyer, and then go through the process of getting a settlement from that third party insurance carrier.
And we get this a lot too. Don't think that you're suing someone.
No.
So if Chris,
it's a lawsuit against an insurance company.
If Chris hits me from behind and I got rear-ended or T-boned, Eric is not going after Chris on him. Eric is going after the insurance.
On behalf of DOL.
Right. Not you. You're never going to go to court unless it's something very, very, very bad and it's a bad
Lawyers
case.
usually don't like to take these to court.
Yeah. So it's going after the insurance company, not the physical person, because we hear it all the time, like, oh, I don't want to screw them over, or I don't want them to have to pay out of pocket.
Yeah, but you don't want to pay out of pocket either.
No one's paying out of pocket. Like, Chris is not writing a check to me. The insurance is writing a check to me, or DOL is going to write a check to me.
And then DOL gets 80%, and you get 20% after all expenses related to the case.
Yeah, so do not think, and I used to work for a personal injury attorney. No one's suing a person. They're suing their insurance. So don't feel bad, because you know what? At the end of the day, you're injured, you're hurt, and you need the money to get better. Don't think of it as like, oh my God, I'm going to be rich. That's not it. Because, if you get a back injury, you've got whiplash, it takes about 8 weeks for you to start feeling all your pain. What happens 8 years down the road?
Up to 8 weeks.
Yeah. What happens 8 years later when you're really in pain? And
now you don't have access to a schedule award like
right.
we talked about, because you didn't file your claim. You tried to go at it on your own. You didn't take the federal benefits. You didn't get paid for your time off. Your supervisor probably started threatening your job because you couldn't work. And you had no protection federally because you didn't use OWCP. So don't do that to yourself. All right?
Yeah,
this is like any other injury. You file a CA1. You get a CA16. You get a CA17. You take it to your doctor. Get a lawyer. That federal lawyer finds a local lawyer, and you handle it accordingly. There's nothing different in this OWCP claim except for the aspect of the lawyer that won't cost you any money out of your pocket.
Yeah, $0.
Don't get screwed over by the insurance company. Don't get screwed over by management. Don't get screwed over by DOL. And don't screw yourself over.
Yeah, and I know somebody asked, what if somebody doesn't have insurance? Have the attorney deal with that.
Yeah, you don't worry about it.
Yeah, you don't worry about that. Talk to Eric. Let him walk you through. He's the expert on this.
Because you're obligated to pursue this.
Yes.
So you don't, I mean, you care. You hope they have insurance, but you're obligated to pursue it. The rule doesn't say pursue it if they have insurance. It says pursue it.
Yeah, and so Kim's asking who gets 80 and who gets 20.
DOL gets 80 and the injured person gets 20, and that's the settlement minus expenses, and then that resulting amount is divided 80-20.
Is there no fault insurance state on auto? How does it work?
Don't worry about that.
Yeah.
You get a DOL lawyer who finds a local personal injury lawyer and they handle it for you. If it's too many of you try to get down in the weeds in this deal.
Yeah.
Look, get a lawyer that knows OWCP and have that lawyer find a local personal injury lawyer and let them do their thing. Your thing is to get better. Is to focus on your health, your recovery. Your thing is to find a doctor who can get OWCP to approve your claim.
Yeah.
Let the lawyers do lawyering stuff. That's what they're for. Okay, I'm not a lawyer expert. I can't tell you what Eric does, and I can't tell you what the PI lawyers do. I can tell you about this. Okay, you don't know what the lawyers do either, so don't get bogged down in that. Just get the right lawyer.
Yeah, and remember, we're telling you, don't call one of the attorneys, unfortunately, that's in your local town first. I'm telling you, because we hear this and then you wind up sitting there getting screwed. Your attorney is sitting on the case, not doing anything because now they have to contact DOL, and you guys all know how hard it is to contact DOL. So contact me, get the number for Eric Blowers, have him start it, and he will help you all the way through. This is his specialty.
Right, and let me say this because there's a question. Are there lawyers in Fayetteville, North Carolina who can help him? So this goes along with what I was going to say anyways. There are one or maybe two handfuls of competent federal lawyers in the country.
Yeah.
That are competent. You can Google this and you can find them, okay? I don't know one in North Carolina that's in Fayetteville, although Eric is in North Carolina. It just happens to be. I don't know about you in Fayetteville. But for those of you that aren't in North Carolina where Eric is, or, in the other places where the other lawyers are, you can be anywhere in the country and get a federal lawyer anywhere in the country because it's federal. There are no state lines in federal. So don't get caught up in what state they're in. Get caught up in, are they good?
Yeah. And
that's all that matters.
Yeah, and we know Eric is really good. Now, if you find another federal personal injury attorney,
and you like him, use them.
Use them. But we know what Eric does. We've had him on here before. We're going to bring him on again one day so he can talk to you guys about this stuff too. But
yeah,
don't go around it. I'm telling you, we hear this all the time, all day, every day. I got a personal injury attorney. Who's your attorney? Oh, then, it's Joe Blow, and Joe Blow doesn't know federal. Remember the word federal. You have to get a federal attorney.
Yeah.
So contact Eric, and he's even said it on here before. He knows that he is probably the lowest attorney that for anything that he does.
She is right now talking about payment when she says he's the lowest attorney.
He is.
We're going to make sure we clean that up a little bit. He charges less than most of the other attorneys. Okay, in my opinion, when it comes to ability and skill, he's the highest.
But what if you have already retained a lawyer?
That's fine.
You can still go with Eric.
If you already have a personal injury lawyer, it's in your interest to have a federal lawyer as well.
Yeah.
Your federal lawyer, after the fact even, will get in touch with your personal injury lawyer and work it out. Your personal injury lawyer is going to be lost when it comes to the OWCP part, and that's going to really hose you. So you don't want your lawyer to be lost. But it's not his fault or her fault. It really isn't. They're great personal injury lawyers that are not expert in OWCP. You just have to know that.
Yeah. So I'm going to say this again. We don't know of another. I mean, Chris knows of other federal attorneys in Texas. We don't know any other federal personal injury attorney other than Eric, and he is in North Carolina, and it doesn't matter what state you're in. So if you're in California, you can call him. If you're in Jersey, New York, or
Alaska,
Florida,
Hawaii.
you know, and also Eric does have a partner here in Florida, in Miami.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter where, Alaska, Hawaii. It doesn't matter where you're at. You can contact Eric. I'm telling you, we've talked to him. He's told us it doesn't matter. And he's come on here and trained people too. It doesn't matter where he's at, where you're at. Call him first. He knows what to do.
But enough on that, because we really don't like this to look like a salesy presentation and promotion and all that. We're here to teach. If you're interested in that, let us know. If not, I'm telling you, if you go to Google, you'll find somebody. Okay, and it's just got to be a federal lawyer, OWCP lawyer in your state, but you're not going to find a lawyer in almost any state. There's only a few states. So just know that.
Mr. Mozart, he said, keep dropping
What's happening?
The knowledge. I hope you saw me last week, Mr. Mozart. I was representing the mail handler t-shirt and hat you sent for Chris and I. Thank you so much. That was so sweet.
And we're going to drop the knowledge, but Mr. Mozart, you and everybody else watching, please pick it up and hand it to someone else.
Yeah. Somebody asked, what if you got hit by a forklift?
Okay, so I know what you're talking about. Like mail handlers have forklifts.
Yeah. It says, what about getting
That's not a
hit by
third-party
a
claim.
forklift job?
That's not third party. Third party is somebody that doesn't work in the agency.
But if you get hit by a forklift, that's a CA1.
That's a CA1. It's
Yeah.
definitely covered, and you won't have that hard of a time getting accepted. I mean, there's hurdles, okay? But it's not a third-party claim because, generally speaking, the person driving the forklift is your coworker who also works for the same agency, so it's not third-party. Because a third party is somebody that's not in the agency. The first party is you. The second party is the agency where you got hurt, and the third party is whoever else. So we don't have that in that case.
Jill, you said, wimpy question. Nothing is ever wimpy for us, so don't ever say that. What if your injury is mental, emotionally from the car accident, but no bodily harm?
Those things can be covered if you get a doctor who's expert in that area and can get the claim accepted. And you find a personal injury lawyer who goes after the third party. And with an accepted claim, you probably have an easier time of getting a settlement from the third party. But generally speaking, I think mental health issues have a relatively high settlement value. I'm not an expert on it, but you should ask. I hope that's not you, but if you know somebody, those are good questions to ask lawyers.
Kayla says, question, if I'm employed with the post office and was in an accident and ready to quit and have an OWCP claim approved, are they still going to pay?
Did you quit? Because, hold on, if your claim is already approved and you quit after it was approved, you'll be fine. They'll keep paying it. If you quit and then try to get it approved, there's no way that's happening. You have to currently be a federal employee. So
Stephanie says, why does DOL get 80% for the car accident?
Because they pay all the bills, and so they want reimbursement for the bills they're paying.
So Sharon says, so if an insurance company for Joe Blow who rear-ended me pays $100,000 and my medical bills on that OWCP paid out were $20,000, I will only get $20,000.
No,
I will only get 20% of the remaining $80,000.
Let's go ahead and stop there. Expenses are expenses related to, the case, lawyer expenses, those types of things. Okay, you get 20% of the settlement. Period. This is not the settlement minus all your medical bills. It's a settlement minus expenses like legal fees. Okay, so they take their 80% to pay the medical bills and then just keep paying at 100% after that. So no, you get 20% of the settlement no matter what. Medical bills are not subtracted from the settlement. And I know that answered the question. That was a good question.
Yeah. So with that said, we went over what MMI stands for and when you get it and what to do. And we went over what a schedule award is all about. And we went over who to contact and what to do in a federal car accident. Again, in a federal car accident, it's a CA1. Make sure you get a CA1, CA16, and CA17. When you guys call us, I'm always telling you, if it's a CA1 injury, please get those 3 forms all the time. And
CA1,
remember,
16, and 17.
Remember, you have 4 hours from the time you reported your injury to get the CA16.
You have 7 days from when you report it to request a 16. Okay, You have 4 hours from the request for the supervisor to give it to you.
Yes. And if they don't give it to you, whatever, Chris. Oh, you are not.
I changed my shirt.
Oh,
File a grievance.
Your shirt. File a grievance.
If you don't get your CA-16 within 4 hours of the request, if you reported within 7 days of the injury, file a grievance.
Yeah, last night, and this is it goes with the file a grievance. Last night when we were at one of the union meetings for NALC, it's so good to hear how this one president backs up his union. I mean, he's ready to file grievances for everything on anyone that comes in the way of his people.
I think it's comfortable for me to do this. Probably fine for me to say, Al, I'm talking to you. Go ahead.
So he is, like Chris always says, he's a powerhouse. He goes to...
Oh, he's dropping bombs.
Yeah, no one ever can go above him. He has all documents. He puts people in their place. I mean, he is amazing.
If he shows up to the hearing, you lost already.
Yeah.
It was over before you showed up.
And the state presidents that we know in Florida here, all the state presidents, let me tell you something, all of them are behind you as far as what we know.
Very actively involved.
When you need to file a grievance, they're behind you. They may get busy. Understand they're dealing with the entire state.
But they're all, you notice, training their stewards. Like big time training them.
Yeah.
So they're sort of a small army in these unions helping you.
Yeah, so
it's really nice.
Don't hesitate. File a grievance. When you think something is wrong and you don't know, call us, ask us, call OSHA, ask them. And we did find out that if you go on OSHA's website, you can also file the CA1 from OSHA's website.
Yeah, so we heard that.
Yeah.
And that was, in the conversation was specifically related to heat-related disorders.
Yeah.
I haven't confirmed this yet, but check it out yourself as well. I mean, it's for everybody to see. I'm going to go look myself. But once I look at it and click all the buttons myself, I'll teach about it.
Yeah. Oh, and this one thing I said I was going to make sure I talk to you guys about it. What was told last night to the union, when you guys get injured, your supervisor or your management or postmaster must report it to the union immediately.
Yeah.
Immediately.
And they're never doing that.
Yeah.
So file a grievance.
File a grievance, because that's what we heard last night.
Yeah, it said file a grievance.
So remember that. So our last thing for tonight till we shut it down, we will answer the other questions that you guys have coming on.
We know there's a lot. We'll get to them.
Yeah. And please, I have 42 voicemails I have to return. I will be doing that slowly.
And some of you are going to get calls from Jennifer.
Yeah.
Accept that call as if it's one of us, because that's a valuable call for you. Jennifer is an expert. She knows everything. Take that call.
Yeah, Jennifer and Gini is not the same person.
Yeah, they're two different people.
Yeah, because everybody gets confused. So if I send you to Derek, I send you to John, Emmy, Ellie, or Jennifer. They're all with the Federal Injury Centers, and they're able to help you with all your questions. I'm trying to get through them because it got backed up, because after every show, Facebook Live, everybody says show, so I said show. I get a quadrillion calls, so then I have to
Quadrillion's a big number.
Quadrillion. So I have to start at the bottom and move my way up. But this one here said he's going to help me tomorrow, so I'm going to dump some on him. So you guys...
I'm going to stand there as she talks on the phone. I'm going to listen.
Listen? Listen for what? No, you're going to make some calls.
I talked to someone today, too.
Oh, God, one person. One person. So with that said...
She's like a phone warrior, okay? I don't know anybody that can just go, boom, boom. She just never stops. And so we'll get through them, okay, together.
I get in trouble because I don't stop talking about work, but I'm trying to get my job done because somebody doesn't do it, so I have to do it.
I think Mike and the other guys on here will agree that there's no chance you get in trouble.
Mike has a broken heart.
Yeah, well, he knows. The rest of them know too. Just move on.
Don't forget, everybody, we are coming to Quincy, Massachusetts for Facebook Live August 28th. I'm going to be saying it all the time. I'm going to be posting it.
8 p.m. Eastern time.
We want a packed office.
And find the address online at federalinjurycenters.com. Scroll all the way to the bottom of the screen and go to Quincy. Get the address, stick it in your GPS, and get there. 8 p.m. Eastern time, August 28th, which is a Wednesday. Get there. We're going to be there. We're flying all the way up, and we're doing this thing there. And I expect to see you there. I'd like to see a packed house. We've done this a few times. We've had some good turnouts. We had a great turnout here in Clearwater. We'll do that again soon. I expect the Quincy location to be the biggest we've done so far. Okay, we're letting everyone know we started 5 weeks in advance. Okay, no excuses. I want to see everybody there.
It's open to all federal
Everybody.
agencies, so it doesn't
Everybody.
matter if you have to come across a state. Just get there.
If supervisors would like to come and heckle me, that'll be fine, because it'll be live and I will make you famous. So come on. Anybody's welcome. Every federal employee is welcome.
Yeah. So we look forward. We're going to have appetizers and drinks. And if anybody wants to take me to Cheers while I'm up there, I'm available Thursday anytime. Come pick me up. We'll leave him in the office and we'll go to Cheers.
There's no chance I'm not going to Cheers too.
You're not going to Cheers. You're going to be working. So everybody, the staff in Boston, that's my request. I want to go to Cheers. I don't care how far we have to drive. Well, everybody, that's it for tonight.
Again, so far off the rails.
What did you say about filing a grievance if accident wasn't reported to your union?
When you when you report your injury, meaning management, is supposed to report your injury to the union.
Yeah.
And we just heard that last night. I don't know if that applies to every agency yet, but it certainly applies to the Postal Service. So check that out. File a grievance.
Yeah. So share this page after we're done. We discussed MMI, schedule award, federal personal injury, what to do, what all these things mean. Those of you hopping on after, #replay, comment below, and don't forget to follow and like our page. We do this every week. As of August, we will probably going at 8 p.m. Eastern time. A lot of people said they're really tired by 9 o'clock, and it ends at 10. So we're going to start 8 p.m. the first Wednesday of August, and we'll see you then. Other than that, we will see you guys next week.
Oh, no.
No?
Not so fast.
Oh, whoa.
At Fed Injury Center on Twitter. I posted something else this week that will keep many of you alive. If that doesn't sound good, I don't know what to do for you. Twitter, at Fed Injury Center. No S on the end.
Yeah.
At Fed Injury Center. Tell all your friends, share it, let everyone know. Text it. Right at Fed Injury Center Twitter, and text it to everybody that you work with. Let people know, because no joke, there's nothing on there that's not completely valuable to you.
Yeah. It's
incredibly valuable. And it's one of the very few ways I can share it with you individually all at once. So I need you on there. It's not the same. You're on Facebook, and that's nice. But if I post something there, it gets buried in your news feed, and you may not see it. If I post it on Twitter, you're going to see it. Guaranteed. You will absolutely see it. That's why I use it. I thought Twitter was a joke, okay? And if you follow too many people, it is a black hole. So don't do that. I'm not kidding when I say just follow me. It's there for your benefit. It's there to protect you. It's there to help you fight back against management who has bad intentions. So get Twitter, at Fed Injury Center. Please tell everybody. There's 2.8 million federal employees. There's no excuse for everybody not to be there.
Yeah.
The unions, many of them teach this stuff, but nobody teaches it like me. I'm sorry. It just doesn't happen. And you have people that work around you that know some stuff, but nobody knows it like I do. And there's nobody that's going out there from the minute he wakes up to the minute he goes to sleep and looking for information to share.
Yep.
I'm trying to help. It's all I do all the time. So I need you to get on there, at Fed Injury Center on Twitter. It will not be a waste of your time. I guarantee it.
Yeah. And with that said, last night we had such a great compliment from Al saying that he likes that we do these Facebook Lives because he can't get to everybody, and he's a state president. So this way we're reaching nationwide, worldwide.
Thousands and thousands of people at a time.
We need you guys to help us and get the word out. We don't do, I don't ramble about things that we don't need to ramble on. It's a show. So
I think we ramble when we want to.
We can ramble when we
We're
want
rambling
to.
right now, and I'm going to keep doing it.
Oh my gosh.
Stay on the line.
Somebody told me that I ramble. But you know what? This is what makes it fun.
Why do people call her to be rude?
I'm the fun one.
Call me to be rude.
Oh, yeah. This conversation I had was really rude one day. I'm the fun one out of the two of us.
I'm definitely not.
He's not. I have to make him have fun. But anyway, again, thank you for watching us this week. Remember, MMI's
Twitter
schedule award, federal personal injury is what we discussed tonight. We're coming to Quincy, Massachusetts, August 28th.
And it will be fun.
It's going to be really fun.
Not a waste of your time.
And we want to say thank you. Everybody keeps congratulating us for our engagement.
Congratulations to me.
He popped the question. Oh, brother. Now I have to be ball and chain with him forever and ever.
So I heard this joke. Everyone else that don't want to hear the joke, get off now. It doesn't matter. So I started out with this as a joke. I'm supposed to make you think it's serious, so pretend. There's a study done that married men die younger than single men. And they did some research on it, and they found out why. They found out why married men die younger than single men. And they found out the reason why is married men want to die. Anyways, let's close this thing up.
So thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching us. Thank you for giving us your hour every week. We will see you guys next week. I won't be discussing what we're talking about next week, which Chris already thought of the topic. It's going to be a big surprise. You guys will be impressed. But with that said, follow us on Twitter. Don't forget to like, follow, and share our videos. And everyone have a great rest of the week. We'll see you guys next Wednesday. Bye.
At Fed Injury Center on Twitter. At Fed Injury Center on Twitter.
Bye, guys.
At Fed Injury Center on Twitter.
God. It won't go. Wait, there we go.
At Fed Injury Center on Twitter.